Hey friends, I'm Amy, a health coach here at Flip Your Leaf, and today we're talking about resistant starches. Now, just so we're all starting on the same page, here are a couple of things that are going to help us out in this conversation. First of all, resistant starch is a fiber, which means you're going to find it in plant-based foods, so like fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds. Resistant starch is part of this fiber group. Second, there are two main camps of fiber. We have soluble fibers and we have insoluble fibers. Now, soluble fibers are generally broken down as they move through your digestive tract. Some of them create a nice gel around your stool, which can help slow down digestion. Now, on the flip side, we have insoluble fibers, and these are fibers that are not digested, sort of as they're traveling through your gut. And because they're not liquefied, it means that they're adding sort of bulk to your stool, and they can help speed up gut transit times. Now, resistant starch is kind of cool because it technically belongs to the soluble fiber group, which means it should be being broken down as it's traveling through your gut. But it resists digestion, hence the name resistant starch. Now, as a side note, does anybody else want to make a Borg joke right now? Because I feel it in my bones, but I feel like I would get in trouble if I did it on YouTube. So just so you know, I'm holding that in right now. But so for resistant starches, in your diet, there are 3 ways. Well, there's actually 4 ways, but we're going to talk about 3 of them today. So you're getting the diet version. So there are 3 ways that you're going to find resistant starches in your diet. And the first is just cell structure. So resistant starch is a starch, which is like a chain of carbohydrates. And when we're talking about it in sort of a cell structure, type 1, what this means is that the starch is attached to the cell wall of the plant food. The starch is attached to the cell of the starch is attached to the wall of the cell in the plant so securely that even as it's going, on a crazy ride through our digestive tract, it's not really being separated from the cell wall. It's stuck on there nice and good. And so it is resisting digestion just because it refuses to be separated from the cell wall of the plant structure. The second type that we have, type 2, is just starchy foods. And this is where the carbohydrate chains, the starch chains, are packed in so tightly. There are so many of them sitting in there that as this food is traveling through our digestive tract, the body doesn't have almost enough time to really pull them apart. They're just so densely packed that no matter how our body sort of mechanically munching them, throwing enzymes at them, whatever it can do to get these digested, they're just so dense that your body's not getting through it. And you're going to find this in unripe bananas, find it in potatoes, think those really starchy dense foods. Your body's sort of, chewing through them, and it's just not going to get through them, and that means that some of them are going to arrive in your colon undigested. The third type that we have, type 3, are just cooled starches. I was going to say cooled down starches. I don't know how to make words today, apparently. So the third type that we have is cooked and cooled starches. So how sometimes you make pasta or something, and you're kind of eating dinner and you go to put the rest of the pasta away and it's got that kind of goo on it. Am I the only one that happens to? But it's that slime that you it's pasta slime. The same thing is happening in your body, and if you could never eat pasta now, again, I'm sorry. But it's the same effect happening in your body where these starches are breaking down. They are breaking down, but then they're sort of coming back together and creating this resistant starchy gel that is still traveling down to your colon where it is fermented by your gut bugs. They're having a little party on these. This is the super cool thing about these resistant starches, is that they're also a form of prebiotics. So if you are on a program like the low FODMAP diet where a ton of really high prebiotic foods are removed, we're removing high FODMAP foods, but we're also removing foods that are high in prebiotics. So those are 2 different things. Having these resistant starches come in is one way that you can add more prebiotics to sort of support your gut health throughout your low FODMAP journey. So I actually have a list of low FODMAP servings of prebiotic foods in my free resource library, and I'll make sure that I link that down below, just so that you have access to that if you're looking to add more prebiotics to your low FODMAP diet or just your diet in general. But they are low FODMAP servings, so there are other things available, so make sure that you're expanding your search, either if you're not following the low FODMAP diet or if you've graduated and you are able to add other groups into your long-term plan, make sure that you're going out and looking for other prebiotic sources as well. Okay, that was a ton to take in, so let's do a quick recap. Resistant starches are a form of soluble fiber, but instead of dissolving as they're going through our digestive tract, they actively resist digestion, and you are going to find these 3 ways. Type 1 is just plant structure, so the way that these starches are attached to the cell wall, they are just not breaking up, they are besties, and they are traveling through your gut undigested because they just refuse to let go of the cell wall. The second type are starchy foods, so think dense foods like unripe bananas or potatoes, where our body just cannot eat through sort of that densely packed starchy material. And then the third are, of course, those cooked and cool, slimy pasta-like kind of things, where they're doing the same thing on your insides, and all of these are going to end up in your colon, where they are prebiotics for your gut bugs. So make sure that you are grabbing that free list of low FODMAP prebiotic foods from my VIP resource library. I'm going to link that below. But before you go, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You are going to get a ton more information on IBS, the low FODMAP diet, and really how to make your body feel like home. I'll see you in my next video.